It was about a year and a half ago I replaced the original switches in this mouse. I used the Omron D2FC-F-7N. I think they're rated for like 10 million clicks. I don't think I have anywhere near 10 million clicks on the left switch, and it is starting to act up. So while this Omron switch feels much better than the original, I think high make brand, it didn't last as long as the original, and that's quite disappointing. I don't think I will buy any more of these. They simply didn't have the life I expected. I thought I would see what kind of cheap mouse switch that has a decent life expectancy I could find. The Huano blue shell switches kept popping up, and the blue shell pink dot seemed to have the longest life, so that is what I went looking for. On Amazon and eBay, the switches seem to be running a bit over $2 and up, including shipping, so a little on the expensive side. If you just want two switches, probably the $5 for two pieces from Amazon is the way to go, but I want at least 10 switches. So this is really where AliExpress shines. I ended up ordering them from Shenzhen Integrity Electronics Store on AliExpress. Free shipping on orders over $10, so I ordered 30 switches to reach the free shipping amount, $13.22 for the 30 switches, and it only took 7 days to receive them, so good service for sure. And if these switches feel okay, I've got enough to last me a while. Easy to get the top off these switches. Small tab on each side and it lifts right off. One moving piece and 3 posts make up the switch. Here is a close-up of the normally open contact, the most important one, and the common post. Looks like maybe a different metal on the top of the normally open contact. Not really a smooth surface, and I guess that is on purpose. I don't see any gold on any of these contact spots, and that doesn't surprise me. Here's the common contact that mates with the normally open post. It does look like the contact point is a bit more yellow. It could be a gold plating. The contact on the opposite side of this spring does not have the yellow color. The lesser life version of this switch was about half the price, so it may be I paid 20 cents for that bit of gold plating. Of course, with the price of gold, maybe not a bad deal, if it does extend the life of the switch. This is the contact that seems to take the brunt of the damage, at least from the few I've taken apart, so maybe this can extend its life. These only cost $20, but less than $1 worth of switches will fix it, so why not? They are easy to pull apart, and it really doesn't take much time to replace the switches. There is one screw under the battery label, very close to the positive end of the label. Pry the end with the battery door part a little bit, and then the front will pull apart. And there is the switch I replaced a year and a half ago. Very sad, it should have lasted 3 years at least. To remove the PCB, need to lift the battery terminals from their slots, then release the 2 plastic clips holding the circuit board. I have the board in the PCB holder. Even though this is a double-sided PCB, the switches will unsolder quite easily. I have the soldering iron set to 750 degrees Fahrenheit and will try and keep the solder melted on all 3 of the pins at the same time. I'm not even going to fire up the vacuum desoldering gun for this. I'll use some solder wick. I've got plenty of it lying around after testing some different brands. I'll use some isopropyl alcohol and swabs to clean the flux off of the circuit board. I'll solder the center pin of each switch, making sure the switch is flush with the PCB. Before I finish soldering the switches, I'll double check and make sure the switches are flush and in the proper position. It won't work if I have one end backwards. I'll do a bit of cleaning since I have it apart. The only thing to watch for in putting it back together is the power switch. You need to make sure the button on the bottom of the mouse is in the same position as the switch. The scroll wheel clips into some plastic ears that stick through the circuit board. The mouse bottom just slides under some tabs in the front, and then the back snaps together. The switches feel about like the Omron switches. Feel good. Maybe a bit more clicky than the Omron. I'll put the screw back in place, battery back in, and it's ready to go. Less than 20 minutes, and I would expect half that time was messing with the camera. After using the mouse a bit, I like the switches. They do seem to have a bit more click feel to them than the Omrons I replaced. I think I like them a bit better. Can I remember to give an update in a year and a half about how they are holding up? If they are working fine, I probably won't remember. Was it worth it to spend the extra 20 cents a switch for the premium version? Only time will tell for sure. If it just extends the switch life a little bit, it will have been worth it. So far, I think they're nice switches. Well worth the money. Thank you for watching.